Hi guys, it's Em here from Virgin Vanning. We get asked a lot of questions about our Nature's Head composting toilet. So we thought we would make a video just to explain how the actual thing works and to show that it's actually not as scary as it sounds. We'll start with a run through with the toilet first. So I'll just open up the toilet so then you can actually see what's happening on the inside. So on the left hand side here, we've got the lever. So you open it up for the poop chute, and then once you're finished, you actually then close it. Then down the bottom here, you've got the agitator to then spin it. So it just rotates that composting once you've actually gone to the toilet. So when you're doing a wee, there's two holes just here that you can see, and that's where the wee separates obviously from the like the compost, so it doesn't mix the two. So in the front here, all your wee actually goes into this front compartment. So then when you can see that it is full, that's when obviously you empty it. So on the side just here, we've got the latches. So then when you want to empty the wee bucket just here, you unhook on the left and then unhook on the right, and then this will then lift up and then you just pull this out. So I'm just going to open it up. Oh, it always gets stuck. So just make sure you have your latches up, pull it up, pull it out. Same thing when you want to go back in. I always find if I actually just place that in like that and open it, it makes it a lot easier. And then you just do them up and that's it. So over here on the right hand side, we've got the ventilation system. So on here, this little square here is the fan. So it sucks out any smell that obviously is protruding. So that's what that is. And then this here is obviously the electrical appliance to make it all run. So when the composting's full, you've got two screws on either side and you just undo them. And then make sure you unhook your fan. So you just unplug that first to turn it off. Take off your chute. And then all it is, I always find holding it here is really good. And then just from the back, and you just lift it up. And that's how easy it is. So we've just replaced the composting. So I'm just going to open it up and show you what it looks like. So undo two flaps. And so obviously this whole section here lifts right up. And so in here, as you can see, it just looks like soil. That's because it is. On the side here to show you how it turns. So once you've gone and done your number twos, you just rotate it like so. I normally rotate before I have to go to the toilet and then after. And then I sometimes rotate it 5 times. Just so that it makes sure it really like gets into the soil as well. Everyone's preference is different, but that's what I do. So when you need to separate your composting from obviously the base of where you go to the toilet in, it's the same thing again. Your two latches on either side, you lift it up and you slide it across, and then the whole thing then comes apart. So then when you need to empty your composting toilet, you're then obviously not carrying that around as well. These are the Brunnings Core Peat bricks. We get them from Big W and they're $6. So when you're wanting to make up obviously the composting toilet, I wouldn't read the back of what these have to say because it's wrong. So we were advised by Zone to make 2 litres, like to do 2 litres of water with the 9 litre brick. That's if you're doing off grid. So you don't want it to be too wet. If you're using caravan parks a little bit more often, I would do a 2.2 water, like 2.2 litres of water for the 9 litres, just because it makes it just that little bit more wet if you're not using the toilet more frequently. So with the toilet paper, we actually don't put our toilet paper in the toilet. We put it in a bag and then obviously throw it away. So for us, for not putting the toilet paper in here, we get about 6 to 8 weeks out of the toilet, give or take. If you were to put the toilet paper in the composting toilet, you should hopefully get 3 to 4 weeks out of it. The two main questions that we get asked quite frequently is, does the toilet smell? It doesn't. It actually just smells like soil, like it's just regular soil that you would just buy. For me, because I've got such a sensitive nose, it doesn't smell at all. You know, the best thing about it is, you know, you do have the vent on either side. So if there is, you know, let's say like a smelly poo or anything, you're not going to smell it because you've got the vent pumping it out. And then by the time you turn it and it breaks down, it'll just end up smelling like soil. The second question that we get asked quite frequently as well is, you know, do we have to use a dump point? No, we don't. It's just compost. So how we empty it is that we actually put a plastic bag around like the base of it, and then it just falls out. So the first time that we did it, Max and I were looking at each other like, oh my God, was that it? Like, that was super easy to do. There was no smell. We just tied up the bag because it, you know, that was it. And then we just put it into the bin. So, as I said, because it is obviously composting, you know, soil, you could, you know, put it in the bin, or you could just pop it in the garden. We obviously don't. We just pop it into the bin. If you've got any more questions, just feel free to pop them into the comments. As you can see, it is a very simple toilet. It's not as scary as what some people may think. So hopefully that, you know, I've answered everything that you were wondering about the Nature Said toilet.